Yes, sir. Geeks all over the globe, guys. Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Cuz We Geeks. We encourage you to stay geek. Listen, guys, we got a brand spanking new one for you. We're here to talk Iron Hearts. Of course, we're doing it here with my boy BA, my boy BJ. Cuz will be back on Tuesday. Listen, if you guys are into geek content and more, please do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Join us here every Tuesday evening and Saturday morning as we get our geek on. And also, too, everybody hit the like button for us. Help us build that algorithm up to find more geeks like yourselves to join us here. Also, too, guys, follow us on our other channel, Cuz We Geek Clips, where we have the short versions of the show posted on that channel. So we're also trying to grow that channel, too. If you can help us out with that, that'll be much appreciated. All right, fellas, y'all ready to get to it, man? Some kind of show came out this weekend this week. I don't know what it was, bro. But I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, cuz not here, so I guess I gotta say it. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. All right. So listen, if you have not seen this show, I recommend you go see the show. Come back, let us know what you think of the show. All right. So other than that, we are going to be talking about Ironheart. All right. Spoiler discussions. All right, fellas. Listen, the show just ended. What Tuesday was the last episode? They posted 3 episodes this Tuesday and also last Tuesday. So the show is officially over with. We're gonna give our take on the show, kind of give you our rating of the show and all that good stuff. So y'all guys got any comments or anything like that, man? Y'all go ahead and comment, join in the conversation. What was y'all take on the show? All right, man. To start this off, man. So the show, this was a Rotten Tomato score for the show. There's gonna be some conversation around this too. The critics gave it an 86%. Audience of 51%. I'm gonna get into that here in a little bit. But before I get into all that, be able to get your opinion on this show, man. What's your overall take of this show, man?
Overall take. So, like, it's a lot that was going on in this show, and finally, that we have a show that did a pretty good job of blending tech with magic. Right, that was kind of one of some of the other shows that we have in the past. They are pretty much either 100% magic or 100% tech or somewhere in between or some other type of genres in a sense when it comes to this world. This was a nice little blend of both. It was about a show with one person that's having a personal struggle with herself and her greatness, and the challenges that happens when you're so self-reliant and you have to eventually learn how to let others help you, right? So I enjoyed that aspect of it. Also, and I think the most important thing that I realized from watching this show is this is um this is a show that showcased the importance of having a strong father figure in your life. The people, the main characters, Riri herself, she's dealing with the loss of her stepdad. Now you talking about her real dad. Don't know what happened to him, but in this particular situation, it's the stepdad and how great he was in her life, and then how she basically is accepting that and having to accept that. That's one aspect of it. The main villain, which is Parker, and how his father pretty much left him for just pretty much on your own. Like, hey man, look, like I did something with your mom, but you do you, and he had to deal with that. So his whole villainous journey started from there, and then I'm gonna throw in Zeke, and we know what happened with his father, and the lack that he's not in his life, and he doesn't necessarily want to live up to be as negative as his father was. So we just saw three people go on at this point fatherless journeys and how to cope with that. So there are some like real life issues that they tackled on this show that if you actually gave it a chance, you realize like, dang, like this show actually went places that other shows might not have even tackled. And I enjoyed every second of it. So I'm gonna wrap it up there and then follow back off of some of the things that y'all say. But on a scale 1 to 10, I say it's a strong 7. It could be better, but I liked what I saw. It was enough for me to watch it through. It was enough for me to rewatch it if I want to, and I think that's the highest bar for me. If I can rewatch it, and if I can get enjoyment out of it yet again, so we're gonna keep it at a nice 7. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best thing they ever came out with, but it's good though. Strong 7 is good.
What you got, Big J?
No, I agree with a lot of the stuff you said. I mean, there was the underlying effect of the absent fathers and all of the lives of the main characters there. I also think that there was another aspect which I think was the ultimate end, which was the fact that Riri never processed and didn't know, as smart as she was, didn't know how to process the grief of losing her best friend and her stepdad, which led her to make the decision she made. I mean, all the decisions really. I mean, the making the suit was to be able to be able to protect the people she couldn't protect because she was trying to make up for that night where she couldn't save them. Because remember, she was like, if the ambulance would have got there a minute sooner, they wouldn't have bled out and all that. So she knows that she was trying to do, and she even talked about it in the first episode how she wanted to make it where it could increase the response time of first responders and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I think that was the motivating factor, as you can tell, for everything she did. Now, I think she got lost in the whole concept of, the suit became the most important thing, and she lost focus because it was, I got to build this suit at all costs and improving the suit and all that. But I think that the show itself, like I said, did a pretty good job of expressing it. I think they could have gave it a little bit more time to breathe. Some stuff was a little rushed because they compressed it down to the 6 episodes. I think they also probably cut some stuff because remember this was during the time when they were building everything up to go toward the Kang stuff. So I think there may have been some Kang stuff that got cut out, which may be why it was only 6 episodes instead of a full 8. Like most of the shows are. But I think, like I said, I think overall they did a pretty good job of what they did, and like I said, I love the casting. I love the casting that they had for Anthony Ramos as Parker. You know, I liked Riri. I loved her friend Natalie. Natalie was funny the whole time. Mother was good. Cree Summer popping up. I love that. I was surprised at her as Zelma. You know, actually, I think most of the casting was on point. And like I said, I think they did a good job representation all the way around of just the feel of the Chicago feel, the black neighborhood, and the interactions and the connectivity that we have. And it was good. Even like I said, the dialogue was on point. Like I've seen reviews where people complain about they didn't get the jokes, but I mean, like I said, these are reviewers who wouldn't understand. But I thought it was like I said, the jokes landed with me. I got it. I knew what they were trying to say. I like the soundtrack was probably one of the best soundtracks I've seen in a Marvel show. Is period. From top to bottom because I was like, man. I was sitting there listening to the thing. I'm like, let me go find out what that was. I had to go look up some of those songs because I was like, okay. So no, I think they did a good job. And like I said, once again, I give it probably overall a 7 for. The only thing I think I want to see more development with Riri because she didn't seem to grow. Like based on the final decision she made, she ended up in the exact same place she started with. Still not processing the loss of a friend. Like she would have made the right decision and accepted. Okay, this is it. She'd have been in a different place.
Yeah, I agree with what y'all said, man. So a few things. That Rotten Tomato score. So I told Cuz this before about the Rotten Tomato scores, how they work. Now the audience score is verified, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's only for the movies. The movies audience scores are verified. You have to prove that you actually seen the movie, and that's how your score gets counted, right, towards the actual score. Audience is different, which is why you saw them having to reset the audience score.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not taking really too much of the audience score when it comes to TV shows and stuff like that on Rotten Tomatoes. I usually look at the critic score. I really pay attention to that. So the critic scores pretty much tell me exactly what was going on with this show and how good and how what I'm saying the quality of the show and all that stuff. Because if it wasn't good, critics are gonna kill it. They have no type of tie to it at all. They will kill it. So like you said, man, when we heard the bad stuff about this show, of course, from certain people. I was thinking, okay, let me go watch this and see what the bad stuff was they were talking about. And I think from episode 1, I was immersed into this show. Just like you said, BA, the show was really good. It made me want to go back, continue to watch it. To the point that I was up late trying to finish watching the last 3 episodes. So the show in general, like I said, it's a very good show. It's not bad. If people actually give it a chance, it's actually a good show. Um, what surprised me was the fact that she wore the suit as many times as she did. I think you talked about that before, Big J.
Mhm.
I was not surprised. I was real surprised about the budget of this show as far as them using CGI and all that stuff. A lot of times her being in and out of the suit. They showed that. I thought maybe she'll be in the suit off camera or something like that, and show her getting out of the suit off camera or something, right? She-Hulk style. But like they showed her a lot in the suit. The suit was used a lot in this show. AI was used a lot in this show. Magic, all that stuff, man. Like I said, the CGI and everything, man, was pretty good in this show for it to be a Disney Plus show. We already know over the last last few shows, you know, the quality hadn't been that great, but it was pretty good, man, for this show. So I give them that. Riri, we learned of her from Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before this show came out, I was not interested in this character because they didn't really do a lot with her. She was kind of like a one note character in my opinion in Black Panther. Um, I agree with you, Big J. I don't think she really from I don't really think she changed as much from the first episode to the last episode. I still feel like she's kind of the same. We'll get on that last episode here in a little bit, but I still feel like there's some growth there. You can see the baby steps, like the tiny baby steps she's taking, but it's not like you do with those shows or whatever, or movies or whatever. You kind of see the full reversal of those characters' growth within that show or that movie. Or whatever. We really didn't see that here, which kind of tells me that if they might be working on like a season 2, I guess it depends on how everything goes with that. But maybe a season 2, and maybe she'll progress with her growth in season 2. We'll have to see. Um, she hooks up with a crew. You had the hood. For a lot of folks who don't know, the hood is known as a hood because he has a hood on that gives him certain abilities. That was given to him in the comics by Dormammu. They hint to Dormammu in the show, but it turned around, it was another character that they gave it to him. So like I said, we'll get to that in a minute. So he hooks up with this crew. She's trying to get money because when she was in college, she was getting money by doing other like students like tests and homework and all that stuff, and they'll pay her for it. And that's how she was able to get some of the money that she got to fix her suit. So now she gets kicked out of MIT, which is the high school in it's the college in the MCU. Is where Spider-Man's from. She gets kicked out of there because she was doing this. They found out she was doing the homework and the assignments for the students for money. So she gets kicked out. She goes back home to Chicago. Her mother is there. She loses her stepfather and her best friend Natalie. So she kind of was trying to stay away from that because she was kind of involved in that with them, with the little drive by and they're taking their lives. And so she kind of just froze and saw all that happen right there in front of her eyes. So that was traumatizing for her. And so her and her mom didn't get to unpack that, because her mom was trying to kind of like move on with her life, but she was still holding on to that. Like I said, because she was involved in that, so it was kind of hard for her. So once she did that, she kind of got, acclimated. She started trying to build her suit again. That's when she ended up discovering how to, that Natalie pops up. She still don't know how she did it, but that was her AI for her suit. Just like Friday and Jarvis was the AI for Iron Man suit. She gets Natalie. Natalie is pretty much like her best friend Natalie that passed away. And then, hey, that was part of the story right there. That part right there, at first, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that was a little annoying to me, the Natalie part. But then it as it progressed, it was used in a certain way to where it was kind of important to the story, and so it added a different dimension to the story as far as like heart and stuff like that towards the end, especially when she lost her at the end when she tried to integrate the magic to her suit. Of course, the magic and technology does not mix, which kind of got me, this whole like premise of magic versus technology. This is kind of what I wanted them to do with Iron Man and the Mandarin. Like that's Iron Man's like arch enemy right there. That's his Joker to his Batman. Like I don't understand why they didn't go that route, but they tried to keep that grounded. But they made this the fantastical, but anyway, so she ends up losing her, and then of course at the end, she gets her back, but and for certain reasons. But like I said, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But like I said, overall, man, the show was good. Um, I'm gonna probably give it I'm with you, BA. I'll probably give it like a 7.5. I thought it was real good. Like I said, it's one of them shows. Like I didn't understand where the hate came from for the show. Like if you actually just watched it and gave it a chance, you would like the show, and it was pretty good. And
Yeah,
I know I heard people were trying. Yeah, I guess so. I heard people trying to compare it to like Secret Invasion stuff. Like, bro, this is way better than Secret Invasions. Like, you just
It's
straight
better than
hating if you saying
Secret
this is,
Invasion. It's
yeah,
better than Echo. It's better than
Hmm.
a
bro.
lot.
It's better than all those shows, bro. Go ahead,
But
B.
So
Go ahead, B.
okay.
it's something that I realized, and I'm gonna give him a shout out because it's what he does. It's satire. It's comedy. There's a YouTube channel called Citizens, right? And the dude
Mm.
goes and he has like a counter of everything that could be wrong in any particular film or whatever like that. It gets counted. It can go from 2 to 5 or whatever the case may be. And I bring him up because, like I said, he does this for comedy. It could be like, okay, they finally said that the name of the movie in the movie,
In the
boom,
movie, yeah.
it gets checked for it, right? I feel like people took something like that, not necessarily what he did. This is not what he did. I'm just saying they took that and they made real reviews off of every little thing that could be negative or even perceived negative in a work of art in a series, right? Like any
Mm.
little thing. She didn't. You saw the way she looked to the left instead of looking like directly at the camera.
Yeah,
Check that.
yeah.
We're gonna write a review on it. I'm like, yo, what that? So some of these things that they were saying just didn't hold water, and another popular one that people were saying like legitly like, well, if she was this smart, then why is she, why is she struggling the way she is? Like, why didn't she, sign off patents and things like that? And I was like, y'all just one, they addressed that multiple times within any issue that they had, they addressed it in the show itself. Her mother kept asking her, like, yo, why are you making these outfits or whatever the case may be? You can use that for so much other stuff. The whole Natalie thing, Natalie's brother Xavier, he mentioned the morality of what you're doing is wrong and things like that. So she gets checked in a sense within the writing itself, within the series itself. But those that don't know, those that are on the outside, one, you have to realize this. When it comes to us, when it comes to things that we do, when we sign contracts and things like that, it's a lot of times we get the short end of the stick when it comes to certain things that we do, right? Certain things that we actually come up with historically.
Mm.
So that's one thing that I know that the character knows about. And two, when you have these contracts and things like that, and you start to let go of your patent to other things, did they not take the vibranium thing she came up with and they're using it for wrong? Like that's already
Mm.
happened in the story. That happened. In BP2. Uh
Mm.
she might have something, and then next thing you know, they use it for weaponry, and some European country, there's another Scarlet Witch that sees Stark or Riri Williams on the side of a missile and decide, okay, I have vengeance against her because you were the person that created this or has something to do with this. We've seen Tony Stark go through this exact same thing. He just was already a multi-billionaire, damn near, before he actually turned into Iron Man. So he was already making those contracts and things like that. This is someone that doesn't want to see her works going to the wrong hands because it already happened and it already, because of her
Almost
work,
caused a
it,
war.
it, it caused it pretty much caused the war, and it was the end of what we know now as Wakanda. It
Mm.
destroyed it. That's on her in a weird way. I know she didn't necessarily cause it, but she could be thinking like that. So like that part, I was like, yo, just take a second to really think about some of the things that you're actually coming up with and see, one, did they address it in the work itself, or
Mm-hmm.
two, is there something else that could be outside leading factors which you might not fully understand right now?
So you're asking people to have common sense
Yeah, damn, yeah, you're right.
and,
That's
and, and,
my
and do
bad.
their homework and do their due diligence. So that's what you're asking. Because, like you said, everything is explained not only in Black Panther but also in the show. Everything you literally just said was explained. I've heard it before. I know BJ heard it before. You know what I'm saying? You heard it before. So I don't understand why. Like I said, it's not that there is something that they don't know or whatever. It's something that they don't want to know. Like you heard it, you just covered your ears on that, and then you'll go with a whole entire narrative that somebody else came up with. I'd rather go with that instead of the facts that was given to you within the show or the movie. That's how everybody is nowadays, bro. Like I said, you wanted it to fail, so I'm not gonna listen to the facts that were given to me. I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna make this up and I'm gonna run with it. So if enough people say it, then it got to be fact, right? That's their thinking. But what people say though, BJ, you should say something a minute ago. Oh, you muted, I think.
I said, going with
Hey.
the deeper side of what's going on. I said I've been following the show for a while since the beginning, and I know people want to start to spin narratives to hate the show from the very beginning. I mean, because I
Right.
heard about it, I thought, okay, it sounds interesting, but like the show started principal photography in 2022. I think they wrapped in 2023, and then we had the writer strike, so they couldn't go and do any reshoots. Then they had the actor strike and the director strike, and
Yep.
that lasted months, and so that pushed
Yeah.
everything
Like
back.
what, like 6 months or something like that?
All right, for each one, I think the writer strike was like 3 or 4 months at least, and then
Mm-hmm.
it went for a while, and so that's why they didn't have a lot of stuff coming out. But they used it because that's why we didn't get Stephen Yeun as in Thunderbolts, because
Mm-hmm.
he had taken on other projects that he had already agreed to, and so the time they were supposed to start shooting got pushed back by a year because of that. So he had to opt out of Thunderbolts, but because he would have been the Century. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, people throw all that out and they're like, oh well, yeah, the show was trash, so Disney wanted to bury it. I mean, they didn't try to bury it, but they had to go through their process, and then they had to come back and do all the CG and all the stuff that you do in post after you make all the edits and the reshoots to make the final product. But then on top of that, they started wanting to, like I said, they wanted to bomb it for every reason. Like if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, like you talked about, it had 86% from the tomato meter, 51% from the
The
on
audience.
the popcorn meter. But if you look, the movie, well, there was a movie that had similar response. That was Captain Marvel, which I think this was better than Captain Marvel because the way they did everything. But and we look at what Captain Marvel did. Captain Marvel had I looked at it was 79% on the tomato meter,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 45% on the popcorn meter. But that movie grossed $1.1 billion. You know,
Mm.
if they'd have made this a movie instead of a show. So once again, just because people bomb stuff don't mean it's not successful. And like I said, I think this shit definitely would have been successful, and it probably could be based on streaming numbers. But if it would have been a movie, it probably would have done much better. But the thing that I also take from it is, you can't go with these reviewers. Like I said, a lot of these reviewers, most of them have agendas. Like a lot of guys I looked at, I ain't gonna call them out, but like I sent y'all a video of one of the guys that do like Birdman, who does go, he calls out all of them who just come in
Yeah.
there with the agendas trying to bomb anything that's not their stuff. And I just like I said, I don't appreciate the way they treat the stuff, and like I said, people just not closed minded because like I said, we've talked to people before who, oh, they think of it as you know they don't understand what like a legacy character is. They think it's some sort of derivative or something. But like I said, she's in the comics. All the stuff that you saw in the show was in the comics. The only thing they didn't do was the Tony Stark, and we said that's because you don't want to pay Robert Downey Jr. $50 million to show up on the camera for 15 minutes,
But say,
like they did
yeah,
for
you know what
Spider-Man.
I'm saying? For 2 seconds.
Yeah, because actually he was in Spider-Man with two for like all of I think about 6 minutes, and that was I think they paid him $40-50 million for that. So like they don't have that budget for these shows to do that kind of stuff. And he'd retired as Iron Man, so he didn't want to come back on as Iron Man. That's why he's come back as new. It's like you got to be, like I said, being logical or reasonable or having common sense. But people, like I said, they throw all that out the window when it's time to paint an agenda.
Mm.
And like I said, we've seen though. Like I said, the show was good. People aren't giving the show a chance. The fun thing is a lot of those negative reviews made people go to the show to say, "Oh, it can't be that bad. Let me go look for
Mhm.
myself." And then be like, "Oh," and then you started getting positive reviews. But that's why remember when the show first came out, well, before it came out, it had 36% on the popcorn meter. But then they had to throw out all those reviews because, like I said, a lot of them came out before the show was even aired. And
Yep.
so, and they were also copy and paste negative reviews. I saw a bunch of those were just copy paste, where it wasn't even people writing this; they were just logging in to different things. But what it ended up happening was when they threw all those out, to jump back up to 63%, I believe, and then it came back down because people started,
It was like 71.
yeah,
Then
people
when it
started
jumped up
bombing
as
it
far as
again.
71. Yeah, it started bombing it again. That's why I said. That's why I said when I said beginning of the show. That popcorn meter, I'm not taking that serious, bro, because that's people doing that again. So it, like you just said a minute ago, then that tells you the validity of their opinion of the show. If you got
Mm,
to go and make multiple accounts to bomb this before it even comes out, then that means your opinion of the show does not matter to me.
yep.
So that's why I said with the shows, they haven't found a way to verify that yet. It's gonna be a little bit hard to do that. But with the movies, yeah, the movies, I like if I see the popcorn meter for the movies, I'll take those a little bit serious because those people actually seen the movie. You have to verify that you've seen the movie, right? So that's why I said, man, look, with I understand that with art is subjective. I understand that. Like there were people who watched it or whatever and was like, you know what, it was okay. I didn't really think it was all that great. Okay, cool. Like you don't have like a hidden agenda behind it or whatever. Like I can respect it. But when you start hitting us with them trigger words, when you giving your opinion of the show, them the ones I just completely ignore, bro. Because you already had your mind made up before the show even came out.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
but you seen the first trailer, right? Kind of like a teaser, and then you see people already hitting negative on that, thumbs down or whatever on that, and all that stuff. So like, yeah, I already know where your mind is, so I'm not going to listen to you. Like you said, I heard some of the negative reviews. I went in with them. I was gonna watch it anyway, but I went in. My thought process was, let me go in here and watch and see what they're mad about. What was the issue with it? I'm watching. I'm like, me and my wife sitting there. Like I told y'all the first 3 episodes. Me and my wife sitting there watching. We're like, well, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about? And I remember like John Campy. I watch him. I've been watching. Me and my cousin been watching him for years, and I stopped watching his reviews on the show because I felt like he's kind of doing that same thing. Because at the same time, y'all, I always said this too. It's kind of like this in our everyday lives when it comes to certain political stances or whatever. I think a lot of people also too, they hear like that's like the popular thing to do. The popular thing is to jump on the show and say this and say that about the show. That's why I feel like they're doing too. Like you don't even take your own mind out and just like watch it for yourself and give it your own merits or whatever. It's like no, everybody's saying it's bad. You're watching it with a bad eye. Like okay, yeah, it's bad. You're right. Like bro, would you have thought it was bad if anybody said anything about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it's like a bandwagon thing. Everybody, that's like the popular thing to say is bad. But then, like I said, when you actually just watch it and ignore the outside noise, you're like, damn, it's actually a good show. Like, what were they talking about? I mean, what's they talking about? I heard somebody say she barely wore the suit in the show. And like you said, BJ, the first like 3 episodes, she had the suit on damn near the whole 3 episodes. I'm like, what are you talking about? So when I heard that, I'm like, yo, these people wilding now, man. Like, what are y'all talking about? You just hating on the show that's be hating. Like Iron Man didn't walk around. Matter of fact, you seen Iron Man 2? He barely had a suit on in Iron Man 2. Beginning of the show when he had the suit on, he put on to fight Whiplash. Long period of time, no suit. Then at the end, he had the suits. I didn't hear no complaints about that. But she had her suit on more in the show than he had in the movie. Like so, that's why I said like people be nitpicking, man, and just picking and choosing what to be upset about. But like I said, we already know why he upset. Young black woman as a superhero. Nobody want to see that, you know. But it is what it is, man. Let's talk about the ending, y'all, because that's the part. BJ, you saw it. I think you saw it first. It kind of text us was. All you
I
said
didn't give
was
you a spoiler. I just
yeah,
said
you did.
I
I
was
know,
shook.
I know. And I told my wife, I said I was sitting there watching it, and when you texted, I was like, let me see what you was shook about. So then when I finally seen it, I was like, okay, yeah. So at the end, she defeats Ezekiel, aka Rampage. It's Rampage, right?
No. Ezekiel, I forgot his name in the show. Rampage is Stewart. That was Stewart.
Okay, I thought maybe they like swapped them out or whatever. Like sometimes they do, because he
No,
had the same like exoskeleton type of thing on like Rampage. So I thought maybe that was him.
nah, he is. What's his real name? Because he has an actual name in the comics.
Oh, so okay. I don't know why I thought that was Rampage, bro. I thought that was the first person I thought about when I seen it. I said, oh, okay, so they made him Rampage. That's what my mind went to.
No,
So he's not
Rampage is a
Rampage.
different dude in the comics. It's an actual guy in the comics.
Wait, no, yeah, no, I know his name is different, but I thought like maybe they decided to make him like Rampage or whatever. Because like I said, he had the same little setup, the little exoskeleton around his skull. I mean, his skeleton and everything, the electrical stuff and all that. That's why I thought that might have been him. I thought they might have just like changed that character to him because to
No,
fit the
but
narrative of the story or
I say
whatever.
Zeke was he's a character too. Like he's pretty much like the bot. Like they pretty much did a pretty decent job at it from the
I'm trying to
character.
remember what his name was though.
Yeah, I was like, why are you looking that up? So at the end, we find out that, like I said early in the show, a lot of people thought that Dormammu was the reason behind, Hood's hood. We come to find out it wasn't. We finally got an appearance of a guy that everybody and their mom been talking about since WandaVision came out. We finally got Mephisto on the screen, y'all. Sacha Baron Cohen played Mephisto. I don't know if y'all caught that part, man, where he was, stirring his tea, picked the spoon up, and you saw his reflection in the spoon. That was clever, man. I like that. My wife, she missed it, so we had to rewind it like twice to see. I was like, hold on, that's see what I saw. I think I saw it. She missed it, so we had to rewind it. Saw the picture. Okay, so it's showing Mephisto in there. Because I ain't gonna lie, I thought maybe at one point he's gonna transform into Mephisto in there, but I'm kind of glad they didn't do it that way. But yeah, so she's talking to Mephisto. She defeats Red Hood. They're trying to get he's trying to get her to be like his next, what would you call it? Not victim.
It's victim.
No.
I'm gonna
Okay, I
take your
guess you can
soul.
call it victim.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take. I'm end up taking your soul some kind of way.
So then at the end, he's giving her these illusions of like her and Natalie together again and all this stuff. And you're thinking like, oh, he's giving her these illusions. But they kind of find out at the end when she does the handshake, all that is actually real. So I'm gonna get y'all's opinion on that whole last scene. I'm sorry with you, Big J, man. What I know I'm gonna get your opinion because you said it shooketh. So what was your opinion on that, man?
Because I was like, there's no way. I'm like, she had to learn, and I knew it was.
Yes.
I think if she hadn't have lost Natalie, the AI, she wouldn't have did it because she had her friend there again. But I was like, and so I was like, when she kept talking to him, I'm like, no, just leave. I'm like, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you already know better. You just saw what happened to Hood. I'm like, come on,
Hood,
man.
yeah. Yep.
But she was so desperate to have her friend back, and she went. I think the fact that the losing Natalie the AI, I think re-ripped that band-aid, and it opened the wound again. To now it was fresh, and so she was vulnerable. And he knew that, and so that's why he went after her to do it again. And I was like, I was like, come on, man. I'm like, man, I was hoping that was just a dream flashback. And I was watching Jessica Clemens. She did the same thing. She was like, she keeps saying like, nah, that was just a projection, and it didn't happen. She didn't take the deal. I'm like, everybody, like, nah, she took the deal. I was like, I can't believe she did it. I was like, no. I'm like, how she going? Because now I'm like, how you gonna fix it? You got to
Yeah,
get.
that's yep. I agree with you on that. What about you, BA?
So, first and foremost, we're gonna give some shout outs to Sasha. What's his name? What's his full name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sasha
Yes,
Baron Cohen. My man went from Borat to playing this role, and he had some more wild ones even before that or after that. But
right,
for him to play this, like I was waiting, like, yo, not that dude. Out of all dudes, I
I
can't
said
see
that too.
him
I said that too.
being
Yeah.
that. But and Mephisto, he doesn't really have too much of a character following too much in the comics like that. Like he's there a lot of times, but there's no full story behind him other than the fact that he's like their version of the devil, whatever the case may be. So he did have a lot to some to play with. And when I said he came across like that smooth, suave type deal maker type vibe, I said, yo, he is nailing this role. Pause. It's like, yo, he's really doing a hell of a job. So he made all that believable, and still had some little jokes in when he was like, "Dog, mama, man, he can clean that, whatever he's, you know what I'm saying?" Like he still kind of kept it going. I said, "Oh, he's phenomenal." Right? I didn't know that he had he was really acting. So shout out to him for that. But when I seen it and I realized that like you said, you got to kind of sit through it and it's like, did she just do that? Tell me she didn't just do that, right? Then once you get past that thought process, I was like, this is great. This is great. And I'm gonna tell you why it's great. Because I think I don't know whether that was a last second change or whatever the case may be, because it only took like them two to kind of do it. Maybe if you want to add Natalie as well, but it didn't. You didn't need a lot to kind of reshoot that. And the reason why I say like it's great is one, it keeps the second season open, right? Like, hey, people this might be good enough of a cliffhanger where people actually might want to see what's happening with this. Two, you can tie this scene into other works and it can still kind of flow. I'm not saying necessarily the Avengers or anything like that, but maybe a scene or two in the Avengers might happen. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying maybe. Or after they reshape things, we might see this get picked back up some kind of way. Who knows? But if you realize in their last Disney Plus project, what was that? Agatha? That was the last one?
Yeah, Agatha.
Who survived that? Who was one of the witches that survived?
The black lady with the bald head?
Jessica Kale.
There you go. Did she not mention Mephisto? It was her. She's the one that name dropped that. So that's a thread. Whereas though, let's say Riri did get herself into something that she can't get out of, right? And then she goes through the
Mhm.
backlash of,
Oh,
you
okay.
really did that, whatever the case may be. And she said, "No, I meant to say Natalie, the AI version. I didn't necessarily mean Natalie to come back in real life, but he tricked me. He knew my heart, and he knew that's what I really wanted. But I didn't mean it. I meant the." And then she might actually say the breakdown of what Natalie is, like the abbreviation, like what it means or whatever. That's what I really meant.
Mhm.
She finds a way. Maybe the other girl that was in the show was like, this is a little bit too much for me. My mom really can't help me, but I know somebody that can help you. And we tie old girl back into it because she was the one that kind of knows what's going on, and she through her own trials and all that stuff elevated herself to another level. So she's another level of witchcraft or witchery, and she might be able to kind of find a loophole, magically to get her out of the situation, to break the contract, and then that might start something else. Who knows? I'm just saying, my thoughts be going. So I maybe that's a
Nah,
way to tie in that, and then now it's like, cool. Look at all this black girl magic that we got going on. We combine different shows and still get having one focus, and that's just to pretty much bail out Riri because she always need a bailout, and this is what happened. So I just thought, like, yo, that's what my mind went straight to that. Like, dang, the first person that brought up Mephisto was Shorty, and now she could. There we go, link them two together. So that was the first thing that I thought of after I seen it, after it kind of processed. Like, she definitely made that deal. Wow.
yeah. I like I said, when I seen it, I'm with you. Like you said, Big J. I was like, nah. She didn't already seen what happened to Parker and everything. You see the effects of the hood and all that stuff. You know this guy in front of you was the guy who gave him those abilities and everything. I know she gonna be like, nah, this nah, I gotta skip that. I can't get down with that or whatever, right? But then she ended up shaking the hand, and I'm just like, yo, what in the world? So I told my wife this because I think people equate intelligence to common sense, and that's two different things. You can be intelligent but not have common sense. And so there was a lot of things that I know people are like, why she do this? Why she do that? First, you're young. And then second, like you said, when you put in those situations, sometimes you don't know what people would do. Like, yeah, she's smart enough to put a car together and build a war machine or whatever. But a lot of common sense, what I'm saying, she probably does not have yet. You know what I'm saying? Because she probably thinking like, I could just do this real quick and it'll work out. And we're sitting there thinking ourselves like, no, that's not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So she probably, like you said, Big J, I think he did play up on the fact that he knew he's Mephisto. He knows she just lost Natalie, which is why he kept playing the idea of Natalie in her mind. And so she's like, I just lost Natalie. She was trying to get her back, and she couldn't do it, but she kept failing or whatever. Kept trying to get her back, and so now you're telling me I can get her back now, and it's like this guy here is giving me that opportunity. I mean, yeah, as long as I get her back, I should be good. That's probably what her thinking was. Same thing Parker was thinking when he got that hood. Before he got that hood, probably thinking like, okay, but it's everything sounds good. The dude seems like he can give it to me. Okay, that's fine. That's probably what their thinking is. And we as we know, Mephisto feasts on those kind of people, right? That's how Ghost Rider became Ghost Rider, right? Johnny Blaze became Ghost Rider. Hey man, he can save my father. Like, yeah, technically he saved your father from the cancer, but then right after that, his father ended up dying in that motorcycle accident or whatever. And so, yeah, like that's probably what she was thinking. But this the thing too, what you said, BA. I Now that you say that, with the whole like, oh girl, she can probably help her out and all that stuff. I can definitely see some type of crossover with her there to help Riri to get over her whole Mephisto thing or whatever, bro. Because I was sitting there, you thought about it a bit more than me. I'm sitting there when after that episode, I'm like, how are you going to get out of this? Everything else you got out by the grace of God. So like this is different, bro. Mephisto ain't some random thug, offering you a job on the street. This is Mephisto. Like, how are you gonna get out of this? That was my thinking was. And so, like I said, you said it. I can see something like that where she's coming on the show, or she goes back to what's her name?
Zelma.
Zelma. Thank you. Goes back
Mhm.
to her. So somebody like that, Freddie from Different World, man. I know she gonna have to come in there and help her out or something. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna have to help her with that. But let me ask y'all quick. Y'all think it's gonna be a season 2? If you had to put BJ's Hot Toys on it, is it gonna be a season 2? But go ahead, go ahead, BJ. My bad.
So here's the thing I've been hearing, because they started talking about it a few months ago, and I heard it again right after the show wrapped.
Mm.
that one of the things that they've been going back and forth on whether they're going to do is Strange Academy, which would tie
Yeah,
to
Hmm.
Zelma. And
yeah. That's
so,
why I figured she's gonna be in that. Yeah, I said that to myself too. Yeah.
and that's what I was about saying. I think that she'll probably be in that if they go ahead and greenlight it. And I think it's kind of waiting to see what the response is to this. But if it, because they said they have it in, it's in like pre-production where they're doing
Hmm.
pilots and stuff to see if it's going to work. And so if this works, then they could probably include her, maybe even Jennifer, is it Jennifer Kale from one, not One Division, but the Agatha All Along.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the witch from there, and then
Mm.
just
Yes,
maybe
Jennifer Kale.
some other characters, and then like I said, I think they had to bring Mephisto in. I think they needed to get him because I can tell you they also talking about doing the Midnight Suns, so that's another group that could possibly help out
Oh,
Hmm.
because
okay.
they
I forgot
need
about that.
Midnight, so
Yeah.
they need
Hmm.
Mephisto for Johnny Blaze.
But now,
So that
now that we have Mephisto, are we getting? We definitely gonna. I think we're gonna definitely get a Ghost Rider at some point, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they
So,
needed him. They needed him. They already
mhm.
had him shot and cast, so why not use him to set that up? So now you can do the Midnight Suns and dude, as amazing as job as he did, like when he did that thing in the pizza the first time, where that family was talking loud, he turned around like, phew,
Yeah, turn around. They just got like real quiet and stay still.
and he was like, "You
Yeah.
like that? You want me to do it to the whole city?"
What you say, BA?
No, and to piggyback off of what Big J was saying, like that's that like after they get through the saga that they in now, they do want to go into a supernatural avenue. They want to go to a cosmic avenue, and then probably maybe either mutant or grounded avenue after that. So they're going to go three to four different ways to go about their next saga in a sense. And yes, like he just said, the Midnight Suns is tied right to Mephisto. You need to have that threat of who is this guy, understand him, let him get the ground running for those projects. He can do that. That character, that entity, the character himself is big enough, whereas though he can get enough of a vibe where other players, like other people's, like, yo, he's really the one that's kind of making some of these things go. Suppose that I know it's a lot of YouTube videos coming out now, like, well, who else did he influence, so on and so forth. So this goes back to what you were saying, bro. Don't get mad because a 19-year-old girl fell for his influence
Mm-hmm.
because he influences. So he could have influenced maybe Shorty that got together the Thunderbolts.
Uh,
Maybe he influenced I don't know anybody that's Sharon Carter. Now she the power broker and
yeah.
stuff. Who
Yep.
knows his influences? Because he said he got kings, he got presidents, he getting people. He got hundreds of people. Like it's not like she was just the a one of a kind. No, what she can do, yes, she can
One of a
influence.
million.
You know what I'm saying? But he got bodies in a sense, right? So
Yeah.
he influenced other people in the Marvel universe. And he might be behind Agatha. Who knows? It was Mephisto all along, like everybody was saying, but they didn't get it out there. So who knows his influence and how far it stretches? But yes, I if that's the goal, that's what they want to do. If I can get the Midnight Suns to go with that, finally I can get Blade to tie in with this some kind of way. Whatever gets me
Mm-hmm.
closer to Blade, I'm for it. Let's just wrap it up like that. Whatever gets me closer to Blade, let's go for it.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I would have never in my life thought we would see Mephisto and Lady Death in the MCU.
They got to get
Never.
together.
Yeah. So we got, there are parts in the. I know she's more tied to Thanos and like Deadpool, but there's parts in there where he's also trying to please her or whatever, right? And it's like it's crazy because like you said with Agatha, all along we saw her in there. It's like, okay, it was like it was only a matter of time. Like, yo, if they got Lady Death in here, somebody I didn't think that they would ever have. If they got Lady Death, bro, they gotta bring in Mephisto. And then, of course, like I said, we end up getting Mephisto. Kind of go back what you said too, BA, about Sacha Baron Cohen's portrayal of Mephisto. I'm with you. When I first heard that he was gonna be Mephisto, I thought he was gonna be like all jokey and weird and all that. Bro, he delivered that performance, man, was excellent, bro. I got to give him props on that. To the point that I would like to see, like you said, like I was talking about, I want to see him in more projects. Like what other project got lined? Like you said, Midnight Sun, they get that going. Um, there was something else. No, because Doctor Strange gonna do more of the multiversal stuff again.
But it don't even have to be magical that he show up because remember, like in the show, like B was saying, in the show he said that on the Fortune 500, he said I got 100 out of the Fortune 100. You know what I'm saying? He said I've got 14 kings, 3 popes, 1
Yeah.
beetle. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's all over. He's got his fingers in everything. So it's like, yeah, it's not just magical people that's involved necessarily. It could be anybody. Could at some point he could
Anybody.
just show up. Yeah, he could just show up in like in a cutscene, or you may see him sitting there talking to
Mm-hmm.
somebody in the background.
There you go.
He walk out. This I'm telling you, it's gonna
Y'all,
be crazy. Now,
y'all think he gonna be in any of the Avenger movies?
I don't think so. I don't think it needs to necessarily. I mean, he could. He could be setting something up.
I think so. I think so now. I think he's getting such a buzz now that,
Oh,
like Big J said, but this is the most important thing, and he nailed it right on the head. It's
Mm.
you don't need he doesn't. You can just see him in a conversation with somebody in the background and just have him walk away, and we already know whoever he talking to, he got him in a sense, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's an appearance. He showed up. He doesn't necessarily have to have a full out speaking roles where as though he went through like a 1 minute monologue or nothing. He doesn't need that. He just need 1 or 2 scenes, and similar to Nick Fury in the first saga, in the first phase, right? When you just show him pop up at the very end or something like that, talking to Tony Stark. I got an initiative I'm trying to do. That's boom. That's it. That's it. So
Okay.
he made that role that pretty much I'm gonna say damn near iconic. Whereas though he
In
nailed every
that
part
short amount of time, bro.
of that short amount of time, he nailed it, bro.
I just thought about
Mm.
something though. Doom, because he's so tied to Doom's backstory.
Oh.
I bet he is going to be on like a flashback or something when they show. Because remember, he got Doom's armor. She's the one made a
Oh.
deal with Mephisto. That's why.
So did. That's a
Uh-huh.
good point. Dang, that's a
There
good.
you
That's a
go.
tie-in right there. Yeah, that's a tie-in right there. Man, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good, bro. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, like I said, man. I give. Oh yeah, BJ. What do you give the show? I forgot to ask you.
I said I was right with B. I said 7. I was thinking 7, 7.5, somewhere around there. Because like I said, it wasn't perfect, but it was better than anything we've seen in a while. Like I said, it could have been a movie, but I like the fact we got more because we needed to get more to establish her story. So I think they should do more of that. Introduce somebody in the movie and then flesh them out in the show, and then bring them back to the movies.
Okay. Now that you said that, let's hope he doesn't have any issues outside of acting. Jonathan Majors it nailed it in the last in one of the last episodes. Was it season 1 when he was he who remains and he started to have that dialogue, had that full 30 minutes of just him talking or whatever, completely
Yep.
sold me. I was like, yo, he is nailing whatever he remains this Kane character, this version of him. Like, yo, he is nailing it. And then he ran from a white girl. So that please don't do that, Sacha Baron Cohen. If you can just avoid that, then we can actually maybe have a saga around you. Who
Well,
knows?
I mean, so Tanaka Huerta had a little thing happen, but he coming back. He gonna be in the movie. He got accused of something.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, hopefully Jonathan comes back as too. I believe that there's some smoke around the rumors that he could be coming back. I think there's a little bit more fire than smoke. To be honest with
I want him to come back. I liked him. I liked his performance. He did a real good job. Like I said, just the Quantum Mania thing. They wrote him terribly, but then the Loki when he was doing the He Who Remains, and like I said, he got me when Loki kept trying to rewind stuff. He's like, oh, you figured out how to do that now? Like he was waiting on him to catch up.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been waiting on you to catch up to me all this time. I was like, oh, I was like, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like we got shorthanded, man. Like we didn't really get to see him have his full potential with that character. Like you said, you got a
oh,
glimpse
definitely
of
a
it.
short fuse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a glimpse of it, like of actual Kang. Like you said, they didn't write him correctly. I didn't been on that rant before. We got a small glimpse of him in Quantum Mania, and it kind of gave like, man, what else could they do with this character? Like I said, I don't think they did it right. They should have Thanos the hell out of him, but it is what it is. But yeah, y'all got anything else y'all wanted to add to that? Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, y'all. All right, man. Let's show some love to Playback, y'all.
Thank you to our friends over at Playback for this segment. Pause. If you're tired of the national media and the annoying ways they sometimes cover sports and other events, give the Glow Sun Production channel on Playback a try. We cover new and old school basketball, wrestling, and geek culture. And just recently, we've added boxing, mixed martial arts, anime, and even video gaming. So if you have time in your busy day, give our channel on Playback a look and check out some of our replays while you're at it. Another special shout out to our favorite at Playback. Back to the show.
All right, man. Let's get to some what we watching, y'all. Now I know one person seen a certain movie I got on my shirt here. He's out here bragging into the streets out here, man, showing off. Listen, man. I'm going to see this today, y'all. We will be seeing this here in about a couple hours. I kind of want to ask you, BA, some things, but I don't. No, I'm not gonna ask you. I'm gonna wait. We can talk about it later. But BJ, we ain't finna go see the movie.
Understood.
I'm gonna try and go see it.
I feel like you wanted to say something, bro, but you was like, no, I'm gonna wait. I said, okay, I was gonna ask you something, but I think you want to wait. We'll wait because we ain't seen it yet. So okay. Go ahead, BJ,
I'm gonna try and go see it this weekend because I got to get that knocked out so I can go see Superman because they're just back to back trying to get it all in my pockets, you know, and it's terrible because I was gonna tell y'all too, you know, with the collection that they announced Superman twice now because Hot Toys doing it and then another company's doing it. Yeah, and so I'm trying not to swipe a card or anything, you know. So I'm just gonna be cool, you know.
So with the Hot Toy for Superman, are they doing crypto too?
Mm-hmm.
They doing
both of them. Both companies are doing crypto.
Oh, that's gonna be extra right there, bro. You already know that's gonna work.
Well, but see the Hot Toys one, man. What they did something different for Superman. They have it for his flight thing. Mm-hmm. There's a magnet to hold him up instead of use the clamps because the clamps always damage the uniforms. So it's a magnet that holds him that attaches to his back from the base that just holds him up so it looks like he's just floating above the base. I'm like,
that's gonna be about 700 right there, BJ.
Nah, I think 280, 270.
Well, that's not bad. So the Hot Toys just all of a sudden go. Oh, you said different ones. Never mind. I'm about to say because every time you say the price, I'm like, that's not how much. Because a lot of people I know, like I said, John Kempy, my cousin, and be watching. Like he has a Hot Toy. I forgot who it is. I think he said his wife bought that for him. She paid like $750 for it.
It depends on certain ones like are special editions or limited release ones. Where I mean, like I got the Wolverine limited release one. That was $2,500, but certain ones like the Anakin, the Dark Side Anakin that they released in Tokyo, that one was like I think it was like 300 maybe 350 if you bought it in person. But as soon as it happened, they sold out. It was like 1,500, and they had like 1,000 at this one show. And they said so people reselling them for like $800, and they even showed people took pictures where they had like pallets where they bought like a pallet of them, you know. And it was like, you can see they had it shrink wrapped, and it was maybe like 30 of them inside that pallet. And so they would turn around and sell them for like 800 to 1,000 a piece because like I said, they weren't making them. It was limited editions, and so everybody's wanting. One dude said he paid $1,200 for one because that's what you had to do to get it over here. You know, it's unless you were gonna fly to Japan and buy it there. Just like there's certain ones, like there's a Iron Man one that they got that's although it's on Sideshow, but it was Iron Man that was only supposed to be available at the Disney. I mean, at the Marvel thing in Disney, like the actual store they have at Disney. But apparently, some kind of way, I guess it wasn't selling fast enough because it was a Mark 80, not the 85, which was in Endgame, but there was a Mark 80, which was only sold there, and they had a special edition, and so people buying those up. But like I said, stuff like that is just when they do those. And usually there's a wait list, like, because I know when they do, because they did a Winter Soldier, Artisan with the real hair. That one was a wait list on the website. The website kept crashing because people kept trying to hop on. Like it was glitching out, so you couldn't even get in.
That's crazy.
And because it'd be like 20, 30,000 people trying to hop in at the same time to wait until it goes live to get those 1,500 figures, 2,000 figures, you know.
It's got to be limited. Some of them figures, like I said, it'd be a special edition ones. It'd be limited some shows. I mean, I said them figures. Oh, that's what I'm gonna tell y'all too. I don't know if y'all watch Old Guard on Netflix.
I watched the first one. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, the second one came out. I'm gonna try to watch that today too.
Yeah, I like the first one.
You didn't watch it? Yeah,
I saw the first one. I would probably have to rewatch it. I know I fell asleep doing it, so I probably didn't see how that fully went through. And then I seen the second one got Uma Thurman in it, and I was like, were they trying to get some Kill Bill out of her? So it, I'll give it a shot sometime
Yeah, I'm gonna
next
watch
week.
it later on. Like I said, we come back later on. I'll try to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch Jurassic Park. Was it Jurassic World Rebirth? Yeah, Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm going to watch that today. So,
So let me say this:
oh
no
man, here we go.
spoilers.
Okay.
I'll say that they did a conscious effort to try to throw it back to the original. That's it. That's it.
Okay. I was going to ask you something, but never mind. I'll leave it at that. I was just about to ask you. I've been going to ask you questions about. Wait.
So you confirmed Jeffrey Goldblum, Goldblum will be there.
Pretty much saying Sam Neill gonna be in it.
Look at his face. Look at his face. See?
Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna wait. Let's get some of these questions, comments, y'all. Check this out. Noah, he says, how do y'all feel about the new Fantastic Four coming out? They gave the Thing, aka Ben Grimm, a beard, which is kind of extra in my opinion, but at the same time, it is different. So that's pretty much like in the comics. What's that storyline?
I forgot. I know
Where
the one.
he kind of like aged throughout, and they're showing his kind of his history or whatever, or his time on the earth or whatever. He aged, and then like at the end when he died, he was on his deathbed. He had a rock beard. So that's kind of where that came from. Now I don't know what it is in the movie. I don't know what the premise is in the movie, but we're gonna have to see. But I mean, it is what it is. Like if the movie's good, I don't think the beard is gonna matter if it's good or bad or anything. But I'm not mad at it. But what y'all think, man?
Well, he didn't have it the whole movie because there's certain scenes where that they think that
Yeah,
happens when they're running from Galactus and they went into like either a wormhole or a black hole, and that time dilation they think is what caused them to do it. To grow the beard out.
that's what I'm interested in. I'm gonna see a Galactus on the screen, man.
Oh yeah, he on there.
I
He
know.
on the trailer.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
he got a
I
bucket
know
of
you.
popcorn, so I'm assuming he's gonna be in the
Dude, you
movie.
see how much that bucket of popcorn is?
How much is it,
80,
So,
80 bucks. I know
bro?
you ain't talking about. Yeah, come
no,
on.
it's sold out everywhere. But here's the crazy thing: it's 2 gallons of popcorn. It's like 310 ounces,
I
and,
believe that.
and it
I
lights up.
believe it.
It's like it lights the eyes light up. But the problem is,
It's
I saw
like
people.
the size of a grown person's chest, damn near.
Dude, it's
Dude,
two gallons
when
of
I see people
popcorn.
hold it, like that's how, like with
Bruh.
the side part and all that, like it's like
Mhm.
a damn near like a trophy, like an NBA trophy or something. Like it's pretty stout.
But
But
it's
if
sold
you're
out.
a fan or you're a collector, then like
Mhm.
I would get it. I'm not that much.
Bruh.
I get like a little collector bucket that's like like the regular
I
joint,
got
but
one, BA. I got one. I got the Black Panther one.
Mm.
That's it.
You didn't
The one
you
that
didn't
kind of
get the
light up and all that.
you didn't get the Dune
all
one
right.
that
So
everybody loved.
add collect to your collection, my guy. No, understood.
Bruh. Matter of fact, you seen the what was it, Megan? You seen the Megan one? That was $80.
Oh, so then
See,
that's
Yeah,
this
that
just
was
the
it.
going rate then.
well, no, they going up. Like there was one when Thunderbolts came out. They had the Red Guardian, which I wanted to get it, but by the time when I walked back out there, it was gone. They had the Red Guardian. It was his helmet,
Hmm.
but yeah, the
Hold
Galactus.
on, where at though?
It
What
was
movie
at
theater?
was it AMC? Whatever, it was right next to my house. It was Cinemark. Cinemark.
Okay, for a second, they got different ones. I don't know if y'all seen the Superman ones. They got different ones for different
Yeah.
movie theaters. Yeah.
The cinema Superman. I think Superman got the crypto ones now. Some theaters got the crypto ones. Now they said Regal
Mhm.
has some, but I ain't going. But like I said, that Galactus when I saw people reselling them on eBay already for $159 for those Galactus popcorn bucks because
They
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 already
they,
sold out.
they trash for that, bro.
Oh,
They
yeah.
trash. In the words of King, they some dirty dudes, man. That should just let us buy it for $80. You gonna have us spend the extra 70 to get it, man. That's crazy.
Mhm.
But like you said, that man, I bet you that detail on there is crazy on there too, man.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Yeah. Noah says they gave Ironheart a 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, but gave Madam Web a 8%. That's crazy. I'm just kidding. He says Ironheart, in my opinion, was good and relatable because I had a stepdad. I like the message. Yeah, man. That was her. It seemed like that was her pillar, and she lost him. And in the way she lost her, I think that also was like a double hit to her. But yeah,
And
Madam
people
Web
get
probably
shot.
that's a little too high. Oh, you say what, yeah?
I said seeing people you care about get shot dead in your face. That could be very
Yeah.
traumatic for one.
Yes, sir. Like I said, she didn't unpack it. She ain't really talked to nobody else about it. She tried to stay away from that garage, all that stuff. So yeah, I could definitely see that. But yeah, Adam, that's 8% a little high for Madam Web. That movie is god awful. That seemed like a movie nobody even tried to put together, bro. They just threw something together, made it with their iPhone or something. Shout out to King. We don't know who the guy is. King of Glow Sun Production. Yeah, you're right, King. You're right. If you know, you know. Reggie, bro law. He said, "What up, fellas?" He says, "I agree the show was good." He said, "BA maybe erase my comment about her unnecessarily having to struggle. I wish the series was longer, but it's a great start. We'll be waiting for season 2." Like I said, I don't know if y'all had to call it. Like I said, we putting Big J's hot toys on this. Is there going to be a season 2? No.
They doing too much with the Marvel universe for me to put his hot toys on it. They reshaping everything, so I can't say it.
Yeah, if I had to put his hot toys on, I'm gonna say no, bro. Like I said, critics gave it a great score and all that, damn near 90%. But I think with the heat around it, you know what I'm saying, the backlash and all that stuff, I think they're gonna probably try to stay away from it. They'll probably have her in other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a little guest cameo or something like that or whatever and other stuff. I don't think she's gonna be in Secret Wars. I could be wrong. I don't think she's gonna be in Secret Wars or Doomsday or nothing like that. But would I want a season 2? Yes, because like we said, the way it ended, we feel like it needs a season 2. But I don't think it's gonna be a season 2. But I could be wrong. We'll have to see.
But that don't mean they can't pick up on certain threads in other stuff, though.
That's kind of what I meant too. Yeah, like they could probably pick that up on Bro Law says, you mentioned Ghost Rider. Is that happening? We haven't heard. We heard rumors. I heard Ryan Gosling attached to it, and we haven't got anything concrete yet. We're just kind of throwing that out there as far as Mephisto. Matter of fact, you know what? Y'all remember when Mephisto walked into that pizza parlor when Hood was there, and he said, "Was it Hood?" Yeah, because I think he went back and visited him again. I think he said something like, I was dealing with my other client."
Mhm.
I feel like that could be like a little Easter egg to he was dealing with Johnny Blaze or whatever, right? That could be. Maybe it's a stretch, but it could be. But yeah, just with the fact that we now see Mephisto in the MCU, it could happen. It opens the door for a Ghost Rider, and like Big J and BA were talking about earlier with the Midnight Suns, with Mephisto, we heard rumors of Midnight Suns. That can open the door for a Ghost Rider at some point. And then Brolock also says it should be a season 2, at least a collaboration. Yeah, it should be something, man. It should be something. We'll see, because I know Ryan Coogler was a producer of this show. So we'll see. Maybe he can kind of convince some people to let him do a season 2. Ignore the hate.
Knowing him, he'll put it in Black Panther.
Bro, I see they wouldn't let her bring her vibranium suit back with her.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that during the show. Like, man, why you let that girl keep her suit, man? But I see why. They already having issues with their vibranium all over the world right now. They're trying to get it all back and all that stuff. So I guess
Wouldn't that be about $4 billion worth of vibranium? Because they said the Vision was worth around $2 billion. So as big as that suit was.
Yeah. So I thought about that during the show. Like, why didn't you let that girl have the suit? But then I had to think about it. Like, yeah, they was out here trying to collect all their vibranium back and all that stuff. Trying to destroy that vibranium machine she created at MIT and all that stuff, which is crazy, man. But yeah, that's all the questions and comments, y'all. Listen, we definitely appreciate everybody geeking out with your boys, man, for another episode of Cuz We Geeked. Like I said, Cuz should be back on Tuesday. Oh, that's what I'm gonna ask y'all. When y'all watching Superman? I'm going Friday.
Thursday.
Yeah, I'm probably trying to get out there Thursday or Friday.
BA, man, I'm tired of you showing off, man. Going to the early
Look,
showing.
I will quickly explain, and actually, I'm gonna give you a shout out for that too. You keep mentioning your wife, how she's not a part of this world, right? She's like, she's She goes because you go, and then she sees it for herself in a sense, right? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. So I brought my wife. My wife, she doesn't really watch Jurassic World and none of it. Like she this whole thing. I was like, look, I'm gonna get a membership, and we're gonna watch like every movie that come out. She said, okay. That's all she said was okay. so she's tagging along, and Thursdays is one of her off days. So that's why I know that I'm probably going to be going every Thursday. So that's why.
So Big gonna see it before me. I be trying to between you and Cuz, man. Y'all be seeing it before me. So yeah, Big J, I'm telling you. Well, you live in Plano. I'm trying to think the nearest one to you, the nearest AMC would be to you.
There's one right there. I think there's one. Let me see.
Oh, Firewheel.
That's cool. Nah, I think there's one in Frisco, right? There's one in Frisco.
Yeah, at the movie theater. Yeah.
Gotta
go inside the movie theater. We've been to that one before.
Yeah, talking about in Stonebriar.
Yeah, Stonebriar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
because Cinemark is right down the street. Cinemark is literally right on 75.
Well, yeah.
There's one on Cinemark. Yeah.
Yeah, I said you got a couple of them by you. That's why I was saying I was trying to think the nearest one would be to you because see, like I don't know, Cuz be upset too because I told me and my wife, like you just said, BA, we're A-list members, so we watch a ton of movies and stuff, and so trying to get my cousins because she wants to go to movies with us a lot now too. So I told her like, yo, get you an A-list. She lived literally right down the street from AMC 30. Like, yo, just get you an A-list instead of you like I gotta wait on Tuesdays for the discount. Shoot, you pay one flat rate every month and you watching as many movies as you want. And so, but yeah, we're gonna go watch it Friday. So I'm trying to see when y'all gonna watch it. We can do a spoiler discussion. I know Cuz ain't been. Oh no, Cuz going with us to watch it. So, so yeah, we could probably do it if you see it before Saturday, BJ. We can do a spoiler discussion next Saturday. What's today? Saturday? Yeah, next Saturday. So if you can get, you free? Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Now I'm trying to say if you see it before next Saturday, bro. Oh, he contemplating. Okay. I would say yeah, we can do a spoiler discussion on Saturday or whatever. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, well, I think that's it, y'all. Also, too, y'all keep forgetting follow us. Also, too, on Cuz We Geek Clips, y'all. Y'all still trying to grow that channel. We will have the shorter version posted between probably today and tomorrow. So, y'all guys look forward to that. But yeah, with all that being said, man, it is your boys BA, Big J, your boy Rail. We will be back here on Tuesday for another episode, guys. Cuz we'll be back Tuesday. Go watch Jurassic World Rebirth. Go ahead and watch that. Rebirth. He's saying Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we will be back here on Tuesday, guys. We got another comment. My bad. Make sure we Oh, he said you talking to Dad with y'all. Oh yeah. He going with us today. Yeah, he going with us. He went with us, Reggie, on the last one. So I guess your sister trying to make it like a tradition type thing. So and that's like one of his favorite movies is the Jurassic Park movies and stuff like that. So yeah, he coming with us too. And I know he didn't like the last one. We're gonna see about this one. But yeah. Don't say nothing, BA, I know. But yeah, listen, guys, we will be back here on Tuesday, y'all. So stay geeked. And we out.